Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan may retire sooner than you think. At this point, Taylor Sheridan has basically become a TV god. With his Yellowstone series, the man tapped directly into the sensibilities of Middle America, entrancing dads across the nation with a soapy neo-western that remained hugely popular right up until its fifth and final season ended in December 2024. But that was just the beginning of what became a TV empire. Several Yellowstone spin-offs have created an entire franchise out of the mothership show, with 1883 and 1923 extending the story of the Dutton family and proving that Yellowstone star Kevin Costner was not the only reason audiences responded to the original series in the first place. Perhaps unsurprisingly, other streamers and networks started to take notice, leading to a flurry of Western-tinged programming, from Netflix's American Primeval and Ransom Canyon, which dominated the Netflix charts in 2025, to ABC's Big Sky. We've even seen the Yellowstone name start to creep into movies, as was the case with the obscure 2022 murder mystery Western Murder at Yellowstone City, which started its life as Murder at Emigrant Gulch before it was renamed for unconfirmed reasons that almost certainly have something to do with the Sheridan effect. This is to say nothing of the other Sheridan-created shows that have sprung up in abundance following the success of Yellowstone. Spy thriller series Lioness, Western-style oil industry family drama Landman, and the Sylvester Stallone-led crime drama Tulsa King are just some examples from an alarmingly long list that raises the question of how on earth Sheridan is managing to balance all his commitments. With that in mind, it wouldn't be the most shocking revelation if he were to announce his retirement, which might happen sooner than you think. Taylor Sheridan could quite comfortably retire at this very second. The man has come to dominate the TV landscape, but he's also managed to shoehorn himself into multiple facets of production, casting himself as Travis Wheatley in Yellowstone, and reportedly charging Paramount $50,000 a week to film the show on his ranch before it wrapped up with its controversial fifth season. Oh, and he also provided most of the horses for the series, teaching the cast to ride and basically embodying the real-life Wheatley. With a slew of other TV projects up and running, and his ownership of the 6666 and Bosque Ranches, both in Texas, Sheridan is on top of his TV game. When you consider he's also the man behind the scripts for Sicario and Hell or High Water, and that he further wrote and directed Wind River, he's long since proven his big screen talents. As such, you can forgive the guy for feeling a little burnt out and ready to retire sooner rather than later. This volume of work is not sustainable for a long period of time, as Sheridan told Variety in a 2022 interview. But it's an opportunity to tell stories the way I want to tell them, with a creative freedom that just doesn't exist in this space, and so I kind of have to take advantage of it. That might sound like the Yellowstone creator was ready to take a step back in 2022, and he was certainly thinking about it, telling Variety, "I don't necessarily want to be doing this when I'm 70. I don't know that I want to be doing it when I'm 60. I'd rather work real hard to do it now." Sheridan was 51 when he made those comments and is now 54, suggesting his retirement before the age of 60 is fast approaching. Based on his comments, you'd expect to have seen Taylor Sheridan's output to wind down in the time since his 2022 Variety interview. But the opposite is true. Before he became known as the prolific writer he is today, Sheridan started out in Hollywood as an actor, appearing in guest roles on TV shows such as Veronica Mars and Star Trek Enterprise, prior to landing a recurring role on Sons of Anarchy. Since turning to script writing, however, his career has really taken off, leading to the sprawling TV empire that exists today. But Sheridan clearly isn't completely done with acting. He made his character, Travis Wheatley, a big part of Yellowstone Season 5, to its detriment if you ask some fans, and has shown up in various guest appearances on several of his other series. Meanwhile, he's also running a horse reading competition, which has been captured for a Western series you've probably never heard of. To put it simply then, Sheridan shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. If anything, the number of TV shows he's creating just seems to be increasing alongside numerous other extracurricular activities, which suggest he's far from packing it all in. Perhaps Sheridan will abruptly disappear in the coming years as his 60th birthday approaches. But if his shows continue to be as successful as they are, Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind Yellowstone and its vast interconnected universe, may be heading toward the final ride of his career, and sooner than many fans would like to believe. With a storytelling legacy built on grit, revenge, and the fading American West, Sheridan has become one of the most influential figures in modern television. But behind the cowboy hat and the camera, there are whispers that the trail may soon end for the storyteller who redefined the frontier. The reluctant king of the West. From humble beginnings as a working actor to becoming the creative powerhouse behind a sprawling television empire, Sheridan's rise was anything but ordinary. He didn't step into the role of showrunner with the same glitz as many Hollywood elite. In fact, he almost stumbled into writing out of frustration with how little control he had as an actor. But once he started, he couldn't stop. Yellowstone exploded onto the scene in 2018 with a rawness that felt both classic and contemporary. It was Western, yes, but Sheridan's take didn't wear spurs for show. It was bloody, emotional, political, and rooted in real, bitter struggles over land, legacy, and identity. Kevin Costner's John Dutton wasn't a hero. He was a war general defending his ranch from all sides. Sheridan didn't offer black and white tales. His stories were sepia-toned, morally gray epics. Now, with 1883, 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Special Ops, Lioness, and a handful of other projects, Sheridan has become a studio unto himself. Paramount can barely keep up. But for all his productivity and prolific storytelling, Sheridan is showing signs that the cowboy campfire may not burn forever. Too many saloons, not enough whiskey. Sources close to Sheridan say the weight of maintaining an ever-growing cinematic universe is starting to take its toll. Unlike other creators who delegate, Sheridan is known for writing nearly every script himself, a rarity in the age of massive writers' rooms. He has famously rejected the writer's room model, insisting that true vision only comes through singular authorship. While this makes his shows consistent and uncompromising, it also makes them incredibly demanding to produce. He's a one-man band, one producer confided, and that's exhausting. Sheridan has admitted as much in interviews, saying he wakes up early to write before the ranching day begins. Yes, ranching, because when he's not directing or writing, he's operating a real-life Texas cattle ranch that he owns and manages. The life he writes about isn't fiction to him, it's daily routine. But how long can one man juggle that many roles before it starts to wear him down? Trouble in the bunkhouse, the writings on the wall, production delays, creative disagreements, including a high-profile split with Kevin Costner, and rumors of burnout have become more frequent. Yellowstone's final season has been split and delayed, and some fans worry that the magic might be slipping. It's no secret that Yellowstone's universe is expanding, but expansion without energy leads to sprawl. Sheridan is still deeply involved in new spin-offs, including a planned 1944 series and another contemporary offshoot possibly starring Matthew McConaughey. But with each new project, he stretches thinner, and the passion that once burned white-hot could begin to flicker. Fans who followed Sheridan's work closely have noticed that he often tells stories about men nearing the end of their road, aging warriors, wounded soldiers, weary cowboys. Could it be that he's writing about himself too? Retirement on his own terms. If Sheridan does decide to ride off into the sunset, don't expect a grand announcement or farewell tour. He's never been one for Hollywood spectacle. More likely, he'll finish the stories he cares most about, maybe the final chapters of the Dutton saga, and then retreat to the life he's been writing about all along: horses, cattle, land, and solitude. Unlike many in Hollywood, Sheridan doesn't seem to crave attention. He's a storyteller, yes, but also a man of action, someone more comfortable on horseback than on a press tour. Retirement for him wouldn't be an end, it would be a return. A return to ranch life, family, and the dirt under his boots. He once said, "When I stop having something to say, I'll stop saying it." Maybe that day is closer than we think.